your divas getting worn out sooner than they should be. So I think that what you need to do is you need to have more divas featured. You need to have more people having more opportunities with the divas division. And that's the way that it's got to be, honestly, because right now the Divas division is somewhat in a precarious position. I'm enjoying seeing Eve as the Divas champion. I was expecting her to hold the championship. The only thing is, she's holding the championship sooner than I had expected. I was expecting this to have more build. I was expecting it to be a more interesting storyline than what it was, having Eve replace Caitlyn, because Eve attacks Caitlyn backstage and supposedly injures her. Leads me to believe that something happened between Caitlyn and WWE, and that's why they made the decision to replace Caitlyn with Eve at the Night of Champions pay-per-view. Having the Women's Championship change hands, or the Divas Championship rather, change hands at Night of Champions was a great decision and a great way of promoting the Divas division. But you would have thought if they were going to change the Divas Championship, it would have been in the originally scheduled match between Caitlyn and Layla. You would have had a match based on mutual respect the Divas would have had between one another, and you would have had a great match where the championship would have changed hands. That would have been a better way to promote the Divas division. You remember when Taylor Wilde came into TNA Wrestling and she defeated Awesome Kong, known as Karma now in the WWE, to the WWE fans, in her first match to win the TNA Knockouts Championship. That was an effective way to promote the TNA Knockouts division. Having Eve attack Caitlyn backstage and win the championship in about 7 minutes at Night of Champions after she replaces Caitlyn in the championship match is the wrong way of promoting it. It makes the Divas division look to be an absolute joke and embarrassment. You would have thought Caitlyn and Layla would have had about a 15-minute long match to represent the Divas division. And I want to see longer women's matches in the WWE. That's one thing that really gets on my nerves, is the fact that we don't see longer matches for the Women's Championship. We're lucky if we get a 10-minute pay-per-view match. The matches between Kelly and Beth Phoenix are the best example I can use. You know, the pay-per-view matches were great. They had great exchanges in all 3 championship matches, and the fact that championship matches took place on pay-per-view really added a great deal of interest to the Divas division. But the matches were anywhere from 7 to 8 minutes in length. I think the longest match between Beth and Kelly went for about 8.5 to 9 minutes. And I think that what we need on WWE pay-per-view offerings, especially for getting anything having to do with Raw Super Shows or Friday Night SmackDown, we need longer WWE Divas Championship matches. And I think that I'm not the only one who believes that. That's a major problem with the Divas division. And out of all the divisions in the WWE, I think the Divas division is not being talked about as much on radio shows and columns because of all the flaws and problems that are very noticeable in the Divas division that are reaching no form of finality or correction. You're seeing short women's matches. You're seeing the same 4 or 5 divas having to carry the division. You're not seeing the NXT seasons anymore devoted to divas. You're seeing a mixture of male and female talent on that show, which we've been seeing for years on WWE programming like Raw and SmackDown. We know how male and female talent work together and how effective that's been in the past. It's a great way to promote NXT. I just want to see more seasons of NXT with women. I want to see women involved more in a competitive way. In WWE, I want to see longer programs that last anywhere from 3 to 4 months in length. These are things that need to be happening for the Divas division to make it work. And if those things don't happen, then people are going to look at the Divas division very negatively. They're going to be writing about it for written columns very negatively, and they're going to be talking about it very negatively on their radio shows. I want to see more positivity towards the Divas division, but in order to get more positivity and more positive things said on radio shows and in written columns, these problems need to be corrected, and the Divas division needs to have a tremendous amount of work ethic exemplified. And I think that until that happens, that little bit of negativity towards the Divas division is just only going to get worse. I like the idea that Eve is Divas champion, and I hope she's in programs with people that she can actually work with and have a good working relationship with. She's been feuding with people anywhere from Kelly to Beth Phoenix in past years of WWE, so she has that experience, and she has what it takes to represent WWE as a great Divas champion. So I want to thank WWE for making a good decision, making Eve the Divas champion. It might be a bit too soon, and I agree with people who believe it's a bit too soon to have Eve as Divas champion, with no anticipation, no build for it. It kind of just happened, and it really took me by surprise. But I hope they keep the championship on her, and I hope she has great views with the likes of Layla. And as I said here earlier, I do expect the Divas Championship program between Eve and Layla will last up until December or January for the equivalent amount of time of 3 pay-per-views. By TLC, hopefully we'll know who the better wrestler is between Eve and Layla and who walked away and emerged victorious in that program for the Divas Championship. I am in high anticipation of Eve retaining the championship in all 3 matches if it goes to that, and then she's involved in a program with one of WWE's top divas by the Royal Rumble in Phoenix in 2013. But I think it's great that Eve is Divas champion. But until we see these problems corrected, bottom line, with the Divas division, the Divas division is still going to be receiving negativity for many years to come, and I just wish WWE would strive to make this one of their best divisions. I'm not saying that WWE don't have a talented group of divas, but we've been seeing a lot of firings of divas. We've been seeing a lot of releases. We've been seeing very short divas matches, very short programs that could last anywhere from 3 to 4 months. I think that, the days of Lita and Trish matches and Stacy and Tori matches are gone. We're never going to reach a point in the WWE where we see those kind of matches ever again. I think that, Tori, Trish, Stacy represented the Divas division great. Even Tammy Stitch back in the mid-90s with Rena Maro as Sable did a great job in their little feud they had in the mid-90s. Definitely it catapulted Sable to winning the Women's Championship when it was brought back for the first time in years, after seeing people like Leilani Kai and the Fabulous Moolah hold it for about 25 years. We're never going to have an era like the Fabulous Moolah era where she held it for 25 years. We're never going to see Lita, Trish 5-star quality matches that are good enough to be the Raw main event, and seeing the title change hands in a main event on Raw like we saw Lita defeat Trish for the Women's Championship several years ago. If you ask Trish Stratus or Lita, some of their best matches came from the likes of Trish. So I think that I don't know what point we've reached with women's wrestling. I just think there are a lot of problems that need to be corrected, and until those problems are corrected and reach a point of finality, we're still going to be seeing the WWE Divas division receiving that same amount of negativity 5 or 6 years from now. But I think that having Eve as your Divas champion is the first step in the WWE Divas division kind of getting themselves out of this proverbial corner seemingly there's no escape from. And I think that having Eve feud with Layla for the Divas Championship, where Layla has exercised her rematch clause from what happened to her at Night of Champions, is a great way to start what could be a lengthy program with a lot of controversy, a lot of attention being drawn to it on social media, and it could get the Divas the attention and the credit they've been striving for over the last 5 to 6 years. There are a total of about 11 years of experience between both Eve and Layla. They have feuded with some of WWE's most experienced and top divas. They have an equal amount of power, an equal amount of agility, an equal amount of charisma. And those are qualities that could make for a great program for the Divas Championship. I think that the fact that they've held the championship before on prior occasions, feuded with different people, and have different qualities to make a great program is huge for WWE Divas division. And I think that if WWE promotes this the right way, both on television programming and live events, WWE Divas division could look better than it has in the last 5 or 6 years. And I hope that WWE make the most of every opportunity they've been presented with this Eve and Layla program. I hope it's not a lackluster program that lasts about a month and a half, and then by at least November we're looking at something entirely different for the Divas division, because as I said here earlier, you have a great opportunity. Let's just hope WWE don't drop the ball with the Eve Layla program. What I'm going to do on our Twitter is I'm going to tweet a lot of Eve and Layla videos taking a look at the feud of Eve and Layla. I'm going to tweet some past matches, and I'll tweet to you what exactly happened at the Night of Champions pay-per-view for this Eve and Layla program to be looming in front of us at Hell in a Cell. That's where I see this match happening, and that's where I see the kickoff to what could be one of the best WWE Divas programs in years. The experience, the agility, the charisma, it's all pointing in the direction of a combustible and entertaining feud for the Divas Championship. I'll tweet some videos, I'll tweet some articles, and I think that Hell in a Cell, because we're going to be seeing matches like Sheamus and the Big Show inside of the Hell in a Cell, a three-way between Ryback, John Cena, and CM Punk, and now this Divas Championship match between Eve and Layla makes this Hell in a Cell pay-per-view probably the best Hell in a Cell pay-per-view since at least 2008, when The Undertaker and CM Punk were feuding inside of the Cell for the World Championship, and that was where The Undertaker defeated CM Punk in probably the best match of CM Punk's career. Some of the best matches of wrestlers' careers who have competed inside of the structure have happened at Hell in a Cell. This match, of course, between Eve and Layla, by God, is not happening inside of Hell in a Cell, but it could be the best match we've seen in women's wrestling in a number of years. And it could put the WWE Divas division on notice, and it could put the TNA Knockouts division in a precarious position where they'll find themselves having to top the incredible program that WWE are promoting right now between Eve and Layla. The reasons why I think it's an incredible program is because you have so many qualities between the two divas. It's absolutely undescribable and unbelievable. But do you think this program will live up to the expectations of WWE and its fans? Tell me on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Look for a lot of Eve and Layla videos to be tweeted on our Twitter at twitter.com/JonathanClarke1, and send me a message on Facebook and tell me what you think at facebook.com/HW Entertainment. Our social media sites now are offering widgets to give you a preview as to what's being talked about in the way of conversation on our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, so make sure you check all that stuff out. I've got some music for you on the way next, Train and Drive By. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Eve and Layla looming at Hell in a Cell. It should be a great match. Train and Drive By is on the way next.
When something takes place in the world of professional wrestling, you know where to go. WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. Covering all the latest breaking news daily. Interactive forums where you can chat with thousands of other wrestling fans. Exclusive editorials and audio features by some of today's top wrestling superstars. Exclusive video content, weekly polls, live play-by-play coverage of every WWE and TNA pay-per-view. And now, featuring WrestleZone Radio, live with news, in-depth discussions, debates, and interviews with wrestling's top stars, past and present. When you think wrestling, think WrestleZone. WrestleZone.com.